welcome back to my channel where I help people with insomnia who are frustrated that nothing seems to be working to be able to get the sleep that they need, because it is possible. If I can do it after 30 years, so can you. So today, let's talk about sleeping next to someone who is restless and snores, because I have been there myself and I have a lot of people that ask me for advice. So I thought I'd create a video to help give you some tips. Now, there's only so much we can do from our end, and there's a lot that the other person can do to try to prevent themselves from snoring. But it is important to work on our end on some tips that I'm going to talk about as we move forward. So if this sounds like something that you need, then stick around. So as I mentioned, this is something I can relate to a lot because my husband is a restless sleeper and he snores. And for years, it was a struggle because he would move a lot when he sleeps, and every time he'd move, it'd wake me up. It'd wake me up. It'd wake me up. I'd constantly get woken up. As he snored, I'd get woken up. Several times a night, as I was overcoming insomnia, it was hard because I was finally getting sleep, but I'd keep getting woken up. When I had insomnia, I was awake already, so it wasn't a huge deal, but as I started to get my sleep, I had to work on my own reactions to that snoring and to being woken up several times a night because he's a restless sleeper. Now, before I even talk about these tips, it is so important to talk about the fact that your significant other, whoever it is you're sleeping next to, should get checked out for sleep apnea. If they are snoring on a regular basis and this is something that's going on, it can cause restlessness in their sleeping as well. So make sure they get checked out for sleep apnea if they haven't already. Now, with that out of the way, remember, because that is very important, let's go ahead and move on to some tips. So actually, before we even move on to the tips, I want to talk about disrupted sleep versus insomnia, because I have talked about this already in previous videos, but I want to make sure to bring it up again because it does apply to this topic. So there are a lot of things that can cause disrupted sleep, whether it's medication side effects or hormone changes, menopause, noises outside, snoring, being woken up by a restless sleeper. Every time they move, it shakes the bed, moves the bed, and it wakes you up. Any health conditions that cause sleep issues. There are all sorts of things. There's thousands of things that can cause disrupted sleep. And you're losing sleep. You have low quality of sleep, but that is not insomnia. It's when we start reacting with fear to the sleeplessness, or to the disrupted sleep, I should say, that we start to trigger the fight or flight system in our brain. And that's when we start having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. We're up a lot more. We have a hard time getting into deep sleep. That's because your brain has activated the fight or flight system, your hyperarousal is up, and your brain wants to keep you safe. If it thinks there's danger and you're in a deep sleep, it's going to take you a lot longer to wake up and react and be able to fight or flee the situation, whatever the danger is that your brain thinks there is. Now, obviously, there isn't danger out there, but when you're fearing something and trying to escape it, it does think there is danger. Now, this channel is about all things insomnia, so this is going to be an insomnia focus. If you do not have insomnia, it is also good to learn this because it can prevent this disrupted sleep from becoming insomnia. That's really important, and it can help you get more sleep if you're stressing out and reacting to this snoring and the restlessness. Now, snoring causes that disrupted sleep, which would be normal for anyone sleeping next to someone who snores or moves a lot, restless, and it wakes you up a lot from the movements of the bed or sounds, whatever it may be. That is normal. But as we react with fear, oh my God, I'm losing sleep again. Oh my gosh, this can't happen. That fear, as I mentioned, it's going to start to trigger that fight or flight system. And that is what we don't want. And if you already do have that fight or flight system being triggered, the key is to teach your brain that you are safe. And a lot of my videos are all about how to teach your brain that you are safe, but I'm going to give you some more tips here. Now, if you do have insomnia, I highly recommend my free Insomnia Crash Course. You can find the link down in the description box. You're going to learn so much more about how to teach your brain that you're safe and start to get more sleep with time. It is possible. You can do it. If I can do it after 30 years of no sleep doctor, anyone be able to help me until the very end anyway, you can too. It is possible. I felt hopeless. Everything felt impossible because I tried everything and my anxiety was high and it just felt hopeless, but it is possible. I did it. You can too. So the thing you have to remember, as I already mentioned, it comes from those fear-based thoughts that are triggering your brain to think that there is danger. So it's activating the fight or flight system. It all comes down to our reactions. Our reactions to being woken up by snoring, our reactions to being woken up from the sleepless nights or the restless sleeper, our reaction to the medication side effects that are affecting our sleep, anything that's affecting our sleep. Our reactions is what's going to determine if you start to sleep well again after some time or if it becomes chronic insomnia. Now, yes, of course, if someone's snoring next to you every day, you're not going to sleep through it eventually. You might get used to it and then start to sleep through it. I have heard of that. Now, as hard as it is, the more you can move to a place of allowing the snoring. We want them to get checked for sleep apnea and stuff. But the more you can allow it, okay, I was woken up by snoring. This is normal. The more that you can accept, this is your reality. I was woken up and not resist it, the better off you're going to be. That's going to show your brain that you are safe so that you will start sleeping better again. We have a choice in how we react to the disrupted sleep. We can react with, oh my gosh, I'm awake again. This is not okay. Oh, I have to stop it. I need to take melatonin or take a sleeping pill. This is not okay. This can't happen again. And resist it and show your brain that you are fearing being awake, which is only going to cause even more sleep issues with time. You're going to lose more sleep. But if you can get to a place of, okay, this sucks. I've been woken up again, but this is normal. Anyone would wake up like this. I'm just going to stay relaxed and go with the moment, and I'll fall back asleep eventually. Now, of course, it's going to depend if you already have insomnia or not, but you will start to sleep again. With time, I've even heard of people finding the snoring comforting. Now, I never got to a place like that, but I have read posts from people saying that they eventually found it comforting. I don't know how, but they did get there because they're allowing it and not resisting it. If I wanted to get to that place, I could. But just being okay with it and allowing it can be so helpful with your sleep. You're going to get more sleep than you did if you're resisting it. So some people have told me what they do is as the person's snoring, they like breathe in with a snore and then breathe out. Like they match their breathing, almost turn it into a meditation. You can do things like taking your focus off the snoring so you can focus on your own breath. Or you can go through your different body parts and squeeze body parts and release. What's it called? PNF something, I think. I don't remember. But you're squeezing muscles and releasing and going through all the different body parts. So you're taking your focus off of the snoring onto something else. Some other things that you can do is get some earplugs and sleep with those at night. Those can be a huge help. Or you can put on some white noise. Get a white noise machine or use one with an app on your phone that plays white noise. I haven't found them as pleasant as a white noise machine. I don't know why. It just sounds more high pitched. I don't know. It doesn't sound the same on my phone, but maybe it'll work for you. I think it works better when you have headphones on. But you can get a white noise machine or play music. You can sleep with headphones on and play the white noise or the music or listen to a story even. Anything that takes your focus off of it and helps to kind of mask the sound a bit. Obviously, you can still hear the snoring, but it's a little less intense, I feel like, when you have white noise or music playing. So you can play around with that idea. Now, there's only so much we can do on our end. It all comes down to the reactions, but there are some tips to use with your partner sleeping next to them, like getting a bed that eliminates movement. That was a huge one for me that I really wanted, because every time my boyfriend at the time, his husband now, every time he shifts sides or get up and out of bed to go to the bathroom and come back, or every time there's a movement, it would shake my side of the bed like an earthquake and wake me up, and it drove me nuts. We eventually got a new bed. I talked to the salesman and told him my issue, like I want a bed that's going to eliminate the movement on my side. We did test out the bed a little bit, but after we got home, I still had the same issue. It still shake me awake. So I know there are beds out there. I remember a commercial a long time ago, I don't know if it's still on, where they had like martini glasses stacked on top of each other, like a little pyramid, or I don't know, like a shape. They're all stacked up on top of each other, and they'd bounce a what do they call it, a bowling ball on the other side of the bed, and they'd show that the cups would stay still. That was my dream bed. I never got that bed, but that is an option for you. Now, another option is to sleep in separate beds. You can sleep in the same room, but have two separate beds. So when they move, it's not shaking your bed. We have a little bit of a gap between ours. That's how we do it. We have two separate beds, same room, and I don't feel it, obviously, because it's a separate bed. Now, I know buying a new bed that's great at eliminating movement, or buying separate beds can be expensive. But those are just options to think about when it does come time for you needing to buy a new bed. Another option is to sleep in separate rooms. I really want to normalize this. A lot of couples do this now. It really helps them to have their own bed. It's nice and quiet in their own room, and they don't need to worry about all the movement, all the sounds. They can just close the room, make it as dark as they like, and put on some music or white noise. They don't have to worry about disturbing the partner with music or whatever it is you like. But I really want to normalize that. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your relationship. It can just be a great way to get better quality of sleep. Another tip is to really make sure your partner sleeps on his or her side, because as we sleep on our back, that's where we can start to have issues with snoring. So if you feel them snoring, or not feel, you hear them snoring, you can give them a little nudge like, hey, sleep on your side. I've heard of people taping tennis balls to the back of a shirt, so if they go to lie in their back, it won't lift them. I've never talked to anyone who's ever done that, but I've heard of it, so you could give that a try. And then if they do find out that they have sleep apnea, the sleep apnea machine, the CPAP machine, will actually eliminate the snoring. At least it did with my husband. For us, he has the CPAP machine now because he did find out he has sleep apnea, and now I don't have any snoring, except when he takes his mask off halfway through the night. Then he'll start snoring again, and I'll tell him like, hey, you took your mask off. Yeah, so the beds, the CPAP machine, that has really helped me. And then, of course, working on my own reaction. But like I said, I can't stress enough about having your partner get checked for sleep apnea, because it can really help them. If they get on a CPAP machine, they're going to sleep so much better. And I know it sounds like it might be hard to sleep with a CPAP machine on, but my husband sleeps so much better now that he is wearing one, even though it was a little awkward at first. I can only imagine. So now that you have some tips that you can apply when sleeping with a restless sleeper who snores, I want to make sure you guys check out my free Insomnia Crash Course. It is really going to help you step it up to the next level and really teach your brain that you are safe, really help you with those reactions to the snoring and any kind of disruptive sleep that you get in the future, and start to sleep more. Again, go to the description box below. There is a link. I also pinned a comment with the link down below. So go check that out. It's absolutely free. It is my gift for you. That is it for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.